Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and we got rid of that whole opening. It's the 205th Couch Co-op show, and joining me literally on the couch tonight, we have a guest who hasn't been on the show in a very long time, Justin, the Fuzz Vega. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been like
and then we also have Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
I think Aaron's supposed to pop on later, and Jared says he can't make it, and we might get Brad again. So it's a very, it's just a rotating cast of characters on the couch tonight. So how's everybody doing this evening?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
I've lost track of time, but other than that, yeah.
Day off. I had a lovely afternoon nap. It's all fantastic.
Nice.
Oh, hey, look, Aaron made it.
I did. I did.
Welcome, Aaron. You made it just in time. We just started.
Yes.
So
yay.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to get out from underneath this cloud of despair, get up from this pit of despair. I don't know. I felt like it was time to talk to people again. So I haven't really hung out with people or talked to anybody. Hung out.
Do a new segment. What you drinking?
What you drinking? Yeah, what's everyone drinking? I'm drinking Red Can by Hop Valley.
Too.
Hop Valley Red Can.
That's pretty good. I tried that the other week.
And then
It's yummy.
What are you guys drinking? What are you drinking, Justin?
I am drinking Mango Cart.
Mango.
By Golden Road Brewing. It's a mango wheat ale.
Mango wheat ale. Huh.
With essence of mango.
No way.
I couldn't figure that one out.
And what do you got, Dave?
I've got Beer Valley from Ontario, Oregon. Black Flag Imperial Stout.
I saw a picture
11%
of that.
ABV.
So is...
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Summer beer.
I know the answer from Dave and Aaron, but Justin, has your drinking gone up through the roof in these trying times?
Sort of. Sort of. It's weird. I have probably more booze in my house than I usually ever have, but I haven't been drinking as much as I thought. So, like probably many people out there, I was laid off and I was working in restaurants. The restaurant I worked at is not coming back, and they actually had their servers come in and basically kind of pick the carcass clean of things that they weren't taking with them.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was able to grab beers and just bottles of booze.
Nice.
Some of their premixes for some of their signature cocktails. So I have a ton of alcohol, but strangely enough, I haven't felt that compelled to just drink. I'll have a beer maybe once a day or once every other day or so, but that's basically the extent of it. I've been smoking a lot of pot.
Well,
Each to their own.
Yeah. The
girlfriend has been working at a dispensary, so she brings home all these samples.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I feel it feels like my duty as a scientist to experiment and see what the effects are of all these different strains.
Of course. Yes.
Exactly.
Why haven't you done a YouTube video about that? Where's the blog on that?
I get too high. I get too high and come down the case of the fuckets.
Of course. Well, we are a video game show, so we should start with some video games. Let's start with the beat list. What have we beat? Have we beat anything this week? Or let's say the last 2 weeks. Have we beat anything in the last 2 weeks? Aaron?
No.
Let's start with Aaron, because we know he's not playing video games.
Oh, whatever, dude. I am playing games. I haven't beaten anything, though.
I did see you play Doom Eternal today.
I did, and then I just finally beat the Doom Hunter with that big fucking tank with a rocket launcher attached to his one arm and a dual-sided chainsaw on the other. He's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yo, Stel, you played the last one, right? 2016?
Oh, I beat it. I beat that one.
Isn't this one quite a bit harder than the last one?
Fuck yeah, it is. Holy shit. I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I thought it was going to be the same level of difficulty. No, they took it and just jammed the difficulty stick right up your ass.
Just wait till there's this dude called the Marauder. You'll be phasing him in a couple levels. That fucker sucks.
Oh, I've already mentally prepared myself for that son of a bitch.
Is it one of those things too, where there's the Marauder, and then in the next level you have to fight like 3 of them? Is there like that kind of bullshit?
There is an arena that I think that happened.
Well, I just beat the Doom Hunter, and you beat them first time, and then you go down to a second level, and there's 2 of them that pop up. It's like, God damn you people.
Oh,
What the
yeah, it's
fuck?
a classic. How about you, Dave? Have
Yeah.
you beaten anything last couple weeks?
No, I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that game takes more than a week or 2 to beat. That is one like long ass game. I'm at level 20, and I've figured out it takes me about an hour of playtime to go up a level. Seems to be about like right on it.
Nice. Are you enjoying it though? At least.
Oh yeah, I really enjoy it. I just hack away at it a little bit. You
Cool.
know, just play an hour or 2 a day, and kind of eventually I'll get there. But from what you've said, it's 40 to 60 hours, so I'm a long way off beating it.
Justin, what games have you beat? I know you've beaten some games. You posted some photos.
Yeah, actually, in the last 2 weeks, there was 2 like kind of like smaller, more indie style games that I beat. The first one was this one called Fury, Furi. The style of the game is very much like a boss rush style game, with combat that's, I would say, adjacent to a Sekiro. So very much.
But it's isometric.
No,
Isn't
it's
it
not
top
isometric.
down? Isn't it top down?
No, it's very much like it has this.
Because I've played some of it. Isn't it
Yes,
top
there's
down?
actually so with each fight, you knock. It's like let's say like each boss will have the health bar and then numerous little squares underneath, and so that's each stage of the boss. And so different stages of each fight will sometimes change the camera. So there are times when it's a larger arena where you have access to like this automatic pistol as well as your sword. But then there are times when the fight gets very close, and so it's all just sword stuff. So it's very much timing based and very much counter heavy. So it's one of those ones where if you find yourself very frustrated with games like Dark Souls and Sekiro,
I thought
you're
it
not
was.
going to have a good time.
I thought it was very hard, and I did not enjoy it, and I stopped playing it.
And I did. I don't know. I might have to put a little asterisk next to my name on beating this, because I used Cheat Engine to actually beat the game.
Oh,
Nice.
It gets to the point where like
Yeah.
I had this game on my hard drive forever, and I'm like, let me just fucking beat this game. And it's weird too, because I would maybe suggest checking it out, because in the credits they mention like Kojima as like, special thanks to them, obviously as inspiration, because all these bosses are super like very much like Metal Gear Solid bosses. And
Wow.
then the soundtrack is fantastic.
No,
half
the game is super cool. The aesthetic is pretty cool, and
Yeah.
it's very colorful. And no, I really
And
dug
half-
it, but it's just so fucking hard. And I played it on PS4, so I can't fucking cheat.
Yeah, but half the soundtrack is done by Carpenter Brute, and then the other half is done by another artist. I think it's called. I can't remember what's called. That artist is called, but very much that same like genre that Carpenter Brute does. So played that. The other game I actually played and beat yesterday. I believe it's called Helltakers.
Yeah, you posted it. Something
sounds
like
familiar.
some anime looking thing, kind of.
Yeah, it's a free puzzle game that's on Steam. And like it's one of those ones where I clicked on Steam and I saw that there was a lot of like activity in that game's community area.
Right.
And basically the premise is like you're a guy who heard that you can get yourself a harem of demon chicks.
Oh yeah.
And so you go to hell to start to collect your own little harem of demon women. And it's a puzzle game. And it's a really cool little concept. Like the puzzle game is very much like the type of like almost like a mobile style game where you have to get to the ending in so many moves.
Okay.
But from the very get-go, it's a very hard-ass game. But there's only like 10 levels.
So it's pretty
But
quick.
the story's cool. Yeah, so you get through it pretty quickly. Like, if you find the secret ending, it'll give you a little password that you go to at itch.io, and they'll let you download the art book for free, as well as like this really good recipe for crepes for some reason.
You beat
yeah.
the game. Here's crepes.
Exactly. And I didn't have to
Nice.
use cheat engine on it. So it was great.
Nice. There
Did you
go.
make the crepes?
Did
Yeah.
you make the crepes?
Not yet.
I-
And my girlfriend loves crepes, so there's gonna be crepes in our future.
Nice.
Nice.
So I beat a couple games. Kind of like Justin, there's just these old games I've had forever, and I just wanted to like knock them off of my list, like finally get these done. So
Oh
the fir-
yeah,
the
Metal
fir-
Gear Solid was last week.
oh yeah. So for me, it was Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, and I had played like half of it, and then just kind of like shelved it because other stuff was out or something, and I just finally said someone was talking about BioShock. I think it was Ryan in our Discord was talking about BioShock, and I was talking about how I like Dishonored better, and so I was like, oh yeah, I got to beat that. So I just like focused on it, and that's like actually the first game after some. It's been a couple of weeks since we did the show, and there's
Yeah.
been some sad, stuff happening that happened, and so I haven't been playing a lot of video games, and that was kind of the first like video game that I committed on, and yeah, so that was really cool to beat that finally. I didn't bother to like try and get both endings, just because in Dishonored they kind of do a evil ending and a good ending, but this time I was just like, I just want to beat it, just kind of get the gist of the game, and
I'm just gonna play my story, not every story.
right, which I
Right.
usually do. I did, I kind of get into that stuff sometimes, but this time I was just kind of like, I just need to beat this game and knock it off my list. So that
I've
is
heard
really
really good. I've heard really good things about that expansion. Like
It's
some
great.
people actually preferred that expansion over to the base game.
well.
What was your
Oh.
experience?
Well, I've liked the whole Dishonored series. I really liked Dishonored 2 quite a bit. Again, though, I didn't play. Well, that's a different game because you can play bad and good. There's two different characters you can choose, and so there's still a lot of playability there that I could go back to. But there's just so many fucking video games in the world. I just don't have time, really, if you think about it. But I like there's some really awesome powers in Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, and Rosario Dawson does the main character's voice, so she's really good, and the story's pretty good.
Nice.
But I think I like Dishonored 2 better overall. I think I just I don't know.
Having never played a Dishonored game, what kind of style of game is it?
It's like BioShock, but it's more stealth. Well, it doesn't have to be stealth based, but it's mainly a stealth game, and they give you
first-person shooter kind of.
as a first-person shooter, and then the art style is very BioShock reminiscent, and then they give you a target basically, and then you can go in guns blazing, or you can find any number of ways to stealth in. You can basically play through the game without killing anybody. Is kind of their thing.
Yeah, I think the term is called like immersive sim,
Right.
which that'd be games like Deus Ex. You have like BioShock, System Shock, Dishonored, even like the new Prey game would be considered like because basically you can
Right.
spec it the way you want to play.
Right.
Yeah, basically you just have a goal to reach at the end, and it's up to you whether you.
Well,
plays
it's
through
it's also
or
interesting
plays.
too because you can do the objective. They give you the objective to kill this person, and you can just go in there and kill them. Or all the side quests will kind of build out this other way to kill the person or subjugate it. Kind of take out the situation. Like, I could have gone into the mail room and just killed everybody and stolen the parcel. Or I can do all these side quests, get the poison, unlock the air vents, knock everybody out, go in and steal it. That kind of stuff, So it's just that kind of game. So it's fun. It's different than BioShock in that sense, I think. But anyway, I enjoyed that. It's a fun game. And then the second game, Assassin's Creed Far Cry or Freedom Cry. Far Cry.
Cry.
Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. It's basically a standalone little DLC game that was DLC. I think
What's
for
this
Black
thing
Flag.
called?
I think it was for Black Flag, and it's fine. I just think that old school Assassin's Creed gameplay is like so broken and so annoying, and it's just like I hate like anywhere you run up something, or it just it drives. It's just so frustrating to get used to that old style of gameplay and then play it, and it's like, okay, this is okay. It's clumsy fighting, not as good as Batman, counter. It's just kind of clumsy, and the story's pretty good. It's just like, I'm glad I got through that and that's done.
That's the one with the freed slave, right?
Yeah, that's another thing too. So it's the freed slave, and it's great kind of idea and story. The one game mechanic I kind of feel is problematic that it does is, so you have to go into an area and free the slaves, and you have to take out all these overseers, right? So you have to take them out quietly. If you just go in there killing them, instead of them trying to kill you, they just run around and kill all the slaves.
Well, that's fucked up.
And you need to save like 10 slaves, let's say. So if you go in there and you start killing them just willy-nilly and they start killing all the slaves and you save like one slave, you basically fail. But I find that weird and such a weird kind of game mechanic choice. Like would they really do that? Wouldn't they just focus on trying to kill me? So they're really just trying to gamify the idea of killing. It kind of is a weird mechanic that I find kind of bothersome at times. But
It sounds like the gamified. Well, you all look alike.
yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Anyway, it's kind of
That
a
sounds
weird.
about right.
Anyway, so those are the two games I beat. I'm glad I got them off my list and I can move on to other things. But yeah, beating games, yay! I want to talk to Dave a little bit more about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. What do you want to
Well,
ask?
I just want to kind of, where are you in the game? Like how, like
I'm level 20.
where in the map?
I'm pretty much go anywhere on the map, but I've just been doing the not Socrates. What's the physician?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, basically, I'm just beginning to uncover like the big tentacles of the ruling party, and
I would love it if you went, because I think they gave Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry free to everybody for Plus or something. I would love it for you to install that and play it, and just because I know you haven't ever played an Assassin's Creed game prior to this one, right?
This is the first one I've ever played.
I would love you to go back and just see what that is like, what the original style of gameplay is like.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it. I mean, you do get distracted by all the quests, and
Are you doing a lot of side quests and hunting quests?
a few of them, yeah, but not like, mainly just to get up to the next level so I can do the main story quests.
The hunting quests give you like armor and weapons, like
yeah,
cooler
I
shit.
can't believe how much content is in that game, and what really surprises me actually is how all the side quests are fully voiced and acted.
Kind of
It's
beyond
like,
what The Witcher does to a degree. But you
Yeah,
haven't played
I
The
mean,
Witcher, but
it's really hard sometimes to know whether you're doing a side quest or a main story quest, because some of them are quite involved.
yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who, if you enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5,
Witcher, I think Witcher 3 that's the game. If you were a big Witcher 3 person, I think you really dig Origins or Odyssey, but Odyssey in this case.
Stick with it once you've upgraded it, like we were discussing, I think, the other week, where it's kind of around about level 7 or 8. It's really obnoxious in some ways because you haven't figured out the fighting system and all the rest of it. But once you realize how you can stealth kill people, it opens up a lot, and the stuff that seemed really difficult becomes actually relatively simple.
Cool.
So
Nice.
Let's
Although
open go
I
ahead.
did have to replay the first mission and the first chapter because for some reason the trophy didn't pop.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't even know how I managed that because it's story related. It's not missable.
Oh, maybe because you
So-
did it with the free version. Didn't you download the free version?
Oh, maybe that is why. Yeah, because it was that like weekend of play where it was.
Because you
free.
let Brad borrow your copy.
Yeah, and then I borrowed your copy, so it's like.
Right. That's probably what happened. So, just what else you been playing, Justin? Aaron, Justin? What other things?
Just some Astral Chain. I've
Asshole chain? Sounded like you said asshole.
Yeah.
That's
Little-
exactly what I
more like
thought you
Seizure
said.
Chain.
The good old asshole chain.
More like Seizure Chain. My
Yank
goodness.
on it and get a brown shower.
Astral Chain,
No.
Platinum Games for the Switch.
Yeah, that more like it gives you a seizure chain. Because holy crap, it's so It's still very bright and colorful.
It's not that bad. Oh my god.
For me, it is. It's so fun though, regardless. My eyes are getting used to it, so I can play a little bit longer and longer without having the disorienting feel. So it's a lot better now.
Do you only
No
play on?
Hatsune Miku.
Do you only play it on handheld, or do you play it on the TV?
I only play. Well, we're packing up because we're having to move out in a couple months, so I probably be able to play it on the handheld for now.
You're moving? We haven't heard about this.
Yeah, well, in a couple months. I mean, we've been looking for houses. We've mentioned that to you before, I thought, but
Right, but I didn't know you guys were moving.
Well, we don't know where we're going. That's the thing.
Cardboard box next to Dave's house.
$1,300 a month for that, I'm sure. Oh wait, that's
Gonna
important.
bring the neighborhood up a couple of levels.
Cool.
Probably.
Justin, are you playing anything else?
I recently picked up the game Control.
Oh yeah.
Big fans.
Yes. I've been hearing fantastic things about it, and it was one of those ones where it was exclusive to the Epic Store, and I was kind of wanting to wait for it to be released on Steam. The only reason why is I'm not one of those Steam fanboys that everything has to be on Steam.
Right.
It's silly. But I have probably in the last 6 months rechristened my love for the Steam controller, which I know is a very polarizing piece of equipment.
It's an interesting piece.
But I have it in such a way that I really like, and I have no problem playing. I figured out a way so I could have no problems playing Epic games through Steam and be able to use that controller. So I've been kind of rolling through that lately, and man, that game is awesome. Like, I haven't played a Remedy game in quite a while. Like, I did play the first 2 Max Payne games, but shit, those were like 20 years ago.
Yeah, those are old now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're old as fuck. But
Yeah, I was gonna say.
the level of polish and just, I don't have a bleeding edge system. I have like an i7 with like a 1080 or a GTX 1080, which is still a pretty good GPU.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's a fantastic game. Like, I don't have like anything with ray tracing, but I would love to see what ray tracing looks on that game because it is beautiful.
It looks.
Yeah, I've seen some videos
Some
of the
video
ray
of it.
tracing, and it
It's
just
nuts,
looks
but that game
amazing.
is just and the style and the like the graph like the just the titles are like brilliant in a simple
absolutely.
way, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time you come into a new area and just boom, the whole screen is the name of the place.
It reminds me of
just-
The Shining.
It's such
Yeah,
it's such a film in a sense. It's so entertaining.
It's like if the X Files was its actual own department that was in the world with Twin Peaks, and this is somehow the world you're in.
How far are you into it?
I would say I have, I think, 4 different guns now.
Okay.
I have the ability to dash.
Yeah.
Oh
getting close.
no, I'm in the Black Rock area
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
where you blew up the wall,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then yeah. So there are definitely areas of that game that are tough, but I had to replay over and over. But it's not like frustratingly so.
Well, there's going to be one spot that is incredibly frustrating. So Jared is not as a big a fan of the game. He's not here to defend himself, but
we'll
Dave
rip
and
it
I
apart,
Dave and I really talked this game up, and then Jared had this awful time, and he thought he was playing the game wrong or something. He was just having a horrible time. Like prior to this very hard part, I think he was having a difficult time. But man, I just loved the game. I think it was like almost my
It
game
looks
of the year.
fantastic.
It was almost my game of the year. It was like my last year. I think Death Stranding beat it, but it was like, man. And that team that made that Control is not very big. I believe it's a pretty small Remedy team or something. As from what I remember, but there's gonna be a level, Justin, that's gonna drop, and I don't know if you've had it spoiled for you yet. Hopefully not. It's fucking awesome. It's gonna blow your fucking mind.
I've heard really good things also about the Ashtray Maze that I've kind of played around with it a little bit already.
No, okay, so that's what I'm talking about, and
Okay.
you know nothing yet.
Yeah, I heard it's rad. I don't know what the hook is because I've already kind of played. I've already gone through a bit, but I know there is a piece that I get later towards the end of the game
Right.
that can allow me to actually go through the whole thing.
Exactly.
But
It's
so far,
Yeah, there was. I thought when I first played the game, I was in that ashtray maze, and I was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to?" So I kind of Googled like, "What?" You get a piece, and then you can basically do. It's like, oh, I don't want to be spoiled, so I let it go. It's like, okay, I'll get this thing later, so don't let anyone spoil it for you. But it is fucking awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
Probably the
rolling around
best level, all of last year level design for that. Anyway.
Level sound designs are great. The music's
yeah.
really cool. Like it's the whole package. It's like occasionally like
It'll hiccup the menus. I don't know if you have this, but like when we were playing on PS4, you'd pause it, and then when you unpause it, it kind of like buffers and freezes. It was kind of annoying.
I haven't had that issue on PC, but it's one of those ones where like I'll take a break from playing just AAA games, and then you go to a really nice AAA game. And you're like, wow, I can understand why you dumped all this money in this game. So, and it was like one of those things where I picked it up off during the Epic sale. I was able to pick it up for $20.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's a no-brainer.
Because it was like $30, and they gave you like a $10 coupon, right? Like a $10 off coupon.
Yeah.
So you get it for like 20. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Epic.
So no-brainer.
And that's a whole other thing we should talk. I mean, Epic Game Store is kind of killing it. Even though they don't offer all the shit that Steam does, man, the titles they're offering for free that we're supposed to be getting till the end of this year. I mean, just giant free games, and then, sales, and I don't know. They're doing a pretty good job. I feel I don't play any of my Steam library except for Skyrim, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Control, great game. Such a good game.
And did you all pick up the free Civ 6 yet?
Well, I do have it. Will I play it? Who knows?
Yeah. Just added the collection.
Oh yeah, it's definitely added. I add everything. I constantly. I mean, anytime a Humble Bundle has a free game, I add it. Anytime, I'm awful with that. But like, I have such huge libraries, I'm never gonna play any of these games.
And speaking of Epic, you all saw that Unreal Engine reveal that was running on the new PlayStation, correct?
Yes.
Supposedly the PS5.
Yeah, the geometry. That's really cool. Like, I get the feeling like I know new consoles are coming out, and I don't really feel like we're going to be seeing huge like strides. Like, you went from like the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo, and from the Super Nintendo to three-dimensional. I don't feel like we're going to be getting those kind of huge steps anymore. But it's going to be a lot of like quality of life type stuff of like things loading faster.
Right.
And then if they're adding like ray tracing, like shit, we've all seen like what Minecraft looks like with ray tracing, how it looks amazing.
Nuts.
Like
pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Well, not even that. That Unreal Engine that demo was one thing, but the Epic, what is his name? The president of that company? Tim, I don't know what his name is. But he was saying like the PlayStation 5 has like by far the best storage of any console and PC at this point. The way that it allocates its storage and memory and how it runs unbuffered. I don't know. I'd have to post the article or find the article, but he was making some pretty huge like who's that? Who's on fire? Anyway.
I don't know. Some old people, I'm sure.
That's funny. Is that in your neighborhood, Aaron?
Yep, I'm in King City, old people capital of Oregon.
I should mute your fucking microphone. Anyway.
There we go. That'll solve it.
But no, he was making some pretty huge claims about the storage and how it just blows away any of the competition. I'm sure most gamers have read the article, and if you guys haven't, I'll post it in the Discord later. But super promising. Like that means like all those load times go away, and there's no never pop in. None of that cheating that they do, where you like your character squeezes through a rock wall so the level can load behind. None of that streaming in bullshit.
Even though they had to go out and say, even though she squeezed through that rock wall during that demo.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that too. It's like, wow, couldn't they all be loading?
When I see it, I mean, they've been promising no pop-in for how long?
I don't really.
Yeah,
years.
Since the N64.
The problem with that, in theory, is if they made games for the PS4, like the PS4 style games for PS5, you'd probably have no pop-in or loading. The problem is these fucking developers keep trying to push the graphics even further, you know, to make even better looking games, and then at that point, well, you have to do all that shit, right? You can't make Last of Us 3 looking like Last of Us 2. You gotta, or you know, whatever high-end game you want to.
I do have to say, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has some horrendous loading times.
Really?
Like when you die and then reload from the last save,
you just don't die.
Time.
You get good.
But I feel like a good analogy to it also, and I think Ian, you could probably like relate to this, is camera manufacturers have been increasing the resolutions that the cameras can shoot in for the purpose that in post you can do digital zooms. So there's a new Canon camera that's a mirrorless that's going to be able to do native 8K. And so the idea was we're going to be able to downsample this to 4K and just be able to do zooms.
Right.
But then TV manufacturers see this and you're like, oh, well, we have 8K material available. We're going to start releasing 8K 8K TVs. And so the camera manufacturers like, this was not the purpose of the 8K. This was supposed to be 4K ultimately. And so it's this arm race of like just keep moving shit up. So it has to be either faster or bigger or whatever.
It's all marketing and it's all like to get us hot. But I got to be honest. I mean, I have a launch PS4 and mine's getting tired. It's getting very tired. It's very loud. I need to take it apart and clean it, I think. But, you know, I want a PS5.
I can help you do that. I've took 2 or 3 of them apart now.
Oh, so it can't be any. It's pretty easy. I mean, the PS3 was an obnoxious thing to take apart. I'm sure the PS5 or PS4 is easy.
It's basically one circuit board in there once you get into it, and a couple of fans.
But
so, what do you all want to see for the next PlayStation? I know they've been kind of cagey about some stuff, but what do you want to see that would be a worthwhile increment upgrade to the next generation?
I don't really care, actually.
From a technical side, I'd like to see like full 4K support, 4K games. So not like the PlayStation Pro does that, but it's kind of a halfway house. It's
kind of an upscaled 4K. Yeah, it's not. But I'm pretty sure we'll get that.
I'm actually not that fussed about seeing that because
I got to be honest. I don't really care about that shit. Even though I'm a video guy and I get that the detail is greater and better, and part of me just doesn't give a shit.
True. Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War are perfect examples of games that are absolutely fantastic on the current hardware. So it's kind of like...
Well, I'm still playing fucking Skyrim and on my PC, and it's 1080. It looks great. I have some of my characters are 2K textures, some are 4K textures, but the whole game, I'm not... Well, I'm running 2K textures, I think, in my... Flora shit, but I don't have a 2K. I don't have like a high-end monitor. I just have like a 1080p monitor. But it all looks great. Like, at what point? I think I'm less interested in actually the console. I'm less interested in this like arms race for the perfect I'm like looking for more art again. Like Control. I'm sure Control is beautiful at the highest 4K, but I like the idea that art was the driving factor behind the game. I want to see more artistic games. That's something I really dig. Like when it has a really cool art style or it's
we talked about those credits and like when you go into a room shooting.
Right.
That could have easily been done on the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3.
It could have. That idea could have. Exactly.
Yeah, and it would. It's not It's the art form. It's not the actual graphics.
That's the kind of shit that gets me. So like this arms race to get to AK, characters, models, and shit. I'm not super concerned with that, really. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, there has been this weird, like, almost homogenization of gameplay, especially from companies like Ubisoft, where it all depends on, like, you got to climb somewhere, fill out that map, then you can see all these different places you go to. And then
Far Cry is the first-person open world. Assassin's Creed is the third-person open world, and then you have Division, which is third. It's all kind of the same blends.
And then Watch Dogs, which is basically the increment between Assassin's Creed.
But that's all that Rockstar does too. I mean, it's just third-person open world games. And it's like open world games to a point. Kind of, you just kind of pick the ones you like the most at that point.
Now, Ian, you weren't a fan of Red Dead 2, correct?
I was not.
I've heard
it was
like
not.
Red Dead. I feel like Red Dead 2 has been a very polarizing game. I haven't played it myself yet, but it seems like either people really dig it or people are just not into it.
I just
Like,
don't.
what's the aspects of it you don't like?
I didn't like that it was fucking boring.
He didn't like any of it, pretty much.
I can, play devil's advocate, I really enjoyed that game, but I can also see why Ian didn't like it.
It's telling a story about a piece of story that I just don't really care about, and Rockstar is just retreading the same shit. And we can even step back from Red Dead 2. I mean, even Grand Theft Auto 5, I was just like, man, this is just the same shit but more. Are we ever gonna move? Are we ever gonna do something different with Grand Theft Auto? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe maybe it was the move to online. Maybe that was Grand Theft Auto's big thing, which was kind of fun. But Grand Theft Auto Online is also really obnoxious with all the queuing and shit they make you do. If it was just like an open world online thing, maybe it'd be more fun. But anyway, Red Dead is beautiful, beautiful game. But I just feel like it's like, I played Red Dead 1 and I don't want to play a more polished version of that.
It's a fine line as well with those open world games between making the map feel big and making it feel big to travel around. Because I find with Assassin's Creed, it's like nowhere feels that far from anywhere else, even though it is. Whereas Red Dead Redemption, it was like, okay, I'll put my horse on autopilot, go get a beer, and
but Assassin's Creed does a good job at a certain point of making you just feel like a complete fucking badass, and I don't.
Yeah, you don't get that in Red Dead. I'll give you that.
It's just it's way more like kind of a immersive like cowboy adventure, and I don't know.
I can understand like sticking with a game that you're not having that much fun with if the story is good. Was the story not good enough to hold your attention?
I didn't find it that exciting, but I mean,
well, it was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. It was definitely better than the Grand Theft Auto 5 story.
What happened in that story? I don't even remember that story was forgettable.
Yeah, that was just like Grand Theft Auto 5, I didn't even like half the characters. I enjoyed the game, don't get me wrong, but
that's the other thing.
Playing as,
yeah,
I didn't care for him at all.
I don't know.
There's one thing I do want to see from the next type of games like it is like the ones that have no cutscene, where like not cutscene, but it's like a loading screen / cutscene, like God of War did. That was like the first I ever seen a game that had zero. Like you knew other games are coming with their cutscenes that are like loading scenes simultaneously, but it's like they made it such a fucking fantastic job at like making one scene go to the next one, make it look like it's just telling a movie, like when they're going between the dimensions and stuff like that. That was fucking awesome.
Justin doesn't have a PS4, so I don't know if you know this, Justin.
So explain to me, like, is it like basically a
God of War? God of War, the entire game is a single camera take.
Okay.
And there's not a single loading screen, or at least you don't know it. The way they make the game works, even in an area where you're playing, they load the outer world while you're playing within the little world, and they do this entire it's pretty impressive how they do it all in. So there's no like cutscene. Everything, the camera will just move, and they use in-camera animation to do cutscenes, but it's all one take, and it's pretty brilliant. If you ever get the chance to play it, highly recommend.
And it's a great story as well. I mean,
of the rumored PlayStation games coming to PC, unfortunately, that's not one of them.
No, you got Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn though is coming.
Yeah.
You should really check that out.
Yeah, so I definitely want to check that out when it comes out for sure.
Yeah. That was it. That game had a great story as well as a
beautiful,
very solid mechanical game,
and just kind of an original idea that was a little different than everything else.
Right.
Like I am so pumped for after playing Witcher 3. I am so pumped to see what Cyberpunk is going to be like.
Because, that looks fun.
Yo, I did not want to finish Witcher 3 because it was so fucking good. Like, and it's one of those ones too where like I have Witcher 1 and 2 on my PC, and going back and trying to play, especially like 1, it's rough as fuck, man.
I've never played 1. I had 2. I was trying to play 2 in preparation for 3, and just even the kind of like Dragon Age 2 kind of design where it's just kind of a weird world where even with mods, just making it easy, I just got bored and it's like, nah, I'm just gonna wait for Witcher 3. Fuck it.
And I think Witcher 3 does a good job to be like, I understand most of the people didn't play those other 2 games, so we're just going to give you the backstory, and it's awesome. So fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great game. Really well done.
Like it
So
almost makes me want to like rebuild my PC before that comes out because I want the full experience. I want to size queen this fucking game.
Oh, nice. I mean, Cyberpunk. Yeah, what is that? September?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the latest.
And that's one of the ones where like if you delay it, that's fine because I know it's going to be awesome.
Right.
Something like Star Citizen, on the other hand, where you're delaying, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
I was living in a different house when I got my beta alpha copy of Star Citizen. That was like 6 years ago. What's up with that fucking... But they have like... How much money have they raised? Like the most crazy amount? People are
It's
stupid.
the most expensive game ever.
Yeah, they just keep getting more and more money, don't they?
Mark
It's like-
Hamill's in it. Fucking... there's a whole bunch of people in it. I can't think of their names right now. But yeah, I have it. I could load into it. I just like... I gave up on that. It's like, it's so fucking... the last time I loaded up into it was like probably a year ago, and they had this stupid like first-person mode where you could run around and shoot people, kind of, but it really is really janky. I was like, what are people paying for in this shit game? I don't know. We'll see.
Are they just taking their money and just making cryptocurrency or some shit?
They keep designing ships that people can buy,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay,
For
but-
ludicrous amounts of money.
so stupid.
Yeah.
And lately, we haven't heard jack shit about that game, so that's... Who knows what's happening with that shit. Yeah, anyway. Anyone else playing anything else? Today, I played all day today. I played Dead or Alive 6 for some reason. I've been back in fighting games, so I've been...
Oh, my.
Some Dead or Alive 6 all day today.
I thought you weren't into that one so much.
Not as much, but I like it. Soul Calibur 6 is my favorite.
Yeah, I feel like Dead or Alive, if you played anything since 3, you've played them all.
Pretty
for the most
much.
part.
I mean, you don't get the
Yeah.
better graphics and the just unrealistic boob jiggle.
So who's currently your DOA main?
I'm not maining right now. I'm doing... they have this new thing in it. Well, it was for the launch of the new game, but the DOA quests. And so it just... You have a different character each time, and you do different fighting challenges within the quest. So I'm just trying to get a whole bunch of those. I'm kind of trophy hunting in a sense, just trying to get some trophies out of the game. But, yeah. And then I was... So I don't really have a main for that game right now. I don't know. They all fight so different, but at the same time, they all fight kind of the same. It's weird. It's kind of a bizarre... I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really
also-
get it as much. It's not like... You're right. It's not like a favorite of mine, but I'm trying to play it more because I feel like I kind of like... when I first got it, I kind of just like played through the story and played some online and then like just shelved it. So I'm trying to give it some more time.
Dead or Alive is kind of like... I like that you can just pick it up and play it. Unlike something like Tekken, where if you're not familiar with Tekken, it just feels like you're controlling... Like, it feels like you're physically holding boxing gloves while playing the game
Tekken
because it's
7
so hard.
was different. Like I had played Tekken quite a bit, but the latest Tekken is a little more technical than I remember it being. So, yeah, I agree. So yeah, I think that's all. I check my Skyrim mods to see if there's anything new and interesting. That's where I'm at.
What else are y'all playing?
Dave, Aaron,
I played some Star Trek Bridge Crew with Brad and Jared on the weekend. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
how'd that go?
I didn't jack in. I chickened out and went the non-VR route because I'd already had a few beers and I didn't want to puke.
Hey, you know
That's
what?
fair.
I mean, if I was gonna play that, I wouldn't play it in VR either. I'd just sit there drunk
Nope.
and play it in controller.
Such a simple game as well. Like, I mean, really, you've just got two hands you control. And,
Isn't there voice activation, or there's no voice activation?
I didn't see any, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of although it's simple because you all have to cooperate and do the same actions, or actions at the same time to achieve the same goal. It's a lot of fun.
I don't know. Do you know about this game, Justin?
I am familiar with it. Yes.
I do know for a fact that that's cross-play across everything. So you can play PC, Xbox, all those people can play together. So
I have been looking at maybe getting a VR helmet finally. It's just like I have this weird thing when it comes to spending money on video games where like the idea of just dropping $60, I have like instant like guilt about spending the money. I could go with my girlfriend to happy hour and spend like $120 and not think twice about it. But for some reason, buying a game that I know I'll be playing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
We had this conversation about music or something in the Discord a couple days
right.
ago.
But the idea now is like, because I'm a PC guy, so if I'm going to get the VR headset, I'm going to get the Index, and that's $1,000 investment right off the bat. So it's hard, man. It's hard, and I already have a ton of games that have VR support, and even my girlfriend has shown interest of doing VR. Like I have this one game called Elite Dangerous, which is like a space sim that does VR, and she wants to play that game so bad in VR. So I can at least sort of like, I was just telling them like my girlfriend kind of wants to fuck around with VR also. I have this game called Elite Dangerous, which is a space sim.
Oh man, I have that too.
And she wants to fucking play that game on VR. So I can sort of like twist the reasoning to be like, oh yeah, definitely just fucking buy it. I'm doing her a favor.
Well, there's got to be someone, because you're like probably looking at what, an Oculus, or are you looking at a Vive?
I want to go Index.
So Vive, right? Isn't that
so Index is the one that Valve actually makes,
right?
Yes.
And there's got to be someone who like regrets their purchase, and you can probably buy it on Craigslist or some shit.
But also, like, I want to play Alex. Because Alex looks rad as shit.
That's supposed to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just telling them I already have a bunch of games that support VR. Like
Super Hot.
I backed Super Hot when it was a Kickstarter, so they gave that to me for free. I have like Project Cars and a couple other like racing games that do VR. I downloaded the patch so you can experience Alien Isolation in VR.
Oh, that's gotta be creepy as fuck.
Give myself a heart attack.
Game is creepy up in non-VR.
Yo, I took like a 6-month break from that game because it was so goddamn stressful.
I
could see that.
I gave up on it and gave it to Jared because I couldn't play it anymore.
It's funny.
Which is kind of cool because I just recently didn't realize this, but I knew that they put a lot of AI tech in the Alien for the game. In fact, like one of the designers of the game released a pack or like a patch that you can do adjustments to the Alien AI to see how it operates, because it's a huge tree of if this and that, if that and this, and like basically how it goes along. So you can technically nerf the Alien hard if it's giving you trouble.
You'll have to forgive me because I haven't played the game, but the Alien is basically the only AI in the game, right? Like
no.
The only is there more enemy AI?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And so you're in a space station, and so for the people who are not familiar with the Alien franchise, there are androids also, and a lot of these and the androids in this game look like crash test dummies, and they come to fuck you up.
Nice. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then also, and a spoiler, towards the back half of the game, they also introduced face huggers, and so I've imagined face huggers.
Fuck that.
Well, that just reminds me of like that just reminds me of Half-Life. Then just little spider fuckers flying at your face and shit.
Yeah.
That's why I can't play Half-Life, Alex, because you know that shit's coming. You know that shit's coming. It's like no way.
That's like Ian doesn't need that in real life.
Like even with Farpoint, where the spiders just fly at you, I was having a hard time, in VR. So like any VR where like it's just I don't know. I just like spiders flying at your face, and then I can just imagine
these spiders rape your face.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see something coming at you. I don't know if you can, but if there's something worse coming at you into your mouth, that'd be brutal.
Because in Alien Isolation, you hear them like squeak, and you know they're making a beeline at you, and you're just like doing 180s, like where is that fucker?
As if I had another reason not to play the game.
I would play it if people paid me to play it. don't get me wrong. I'm not above that. You know, you pay me,
True.
I'll fucking play it. But Jesus Christ,
That's true.
That shit sucks. Yeah.
No, that sounds like if you decide to do a Patreon or like some sort of a charity thing.
Patreon, get me to
think
play
that-
this
yes.
game.
Yeah, we're gonna put this in VR. Every time you get hurt or die, we're gonna poke you with a stick.
It's like that. They have that game. I think it's for Oculus, the tightrope one, where you walk, but they
Oh,
put
yeah.
you put the 2x4 in your living room, and then you do it like you. So you actually are doing the tightrope. So you
Yeah.
think you're on it, and then there's like this fail video of this guy falling off into his TV and breaking his TV. It's pretty great.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that
shit.
video last week.
It's pretty hilarious. It's like, why would you do that to yourself?
No.
Anyway, I do have
That's
another
funny.
VR
That's
thing. I
sad.
played the Iron Man VR demo for PlayStation 4 that came out this past week, and that was pretty cool. You get to fly around like Iron Man, and you wear the mask. When you put the mask on, and it shuts, and then it shows, just like the Iron Man movie. It has all the readouts and shit. It's pretty impressive.
That's dope.
So I was hoping Brad would jump on and talk about it too, because I know he played it, but and he could talk about Star Trek some more too with Dave. But yeah, no, the Iron Man game looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome VR game. You fly around and you save the airliner and you shoot shit, and I would say the only kind of disorientating thing is flying a little bit when you have to turn and stuff. It kind of has like a tank turning control. You don't really turn. I think that's to save you from throwing up, because flying around
Oh.
can be a little bit intense. But it's a pretty awesome game. It's pretty well made. I was surprised. Like, I know there was kind of like, oh, they're making an Iron Man VR game, but I think they're doing a pretty awesome job. So I don't know if I'll buy it for the 40, but if it comes down to about 20, I'll probably pick it up. It seems pretty solid. So, and I haven't played VR in a long time, so I was like, oh, fucking. Bryn was making fun of me as I'm playing it, because it's just like, you're holding your arms out like fucking Iron Man and shit, and I don't know, it's fucking weird. So I enjoyed that. I had a good time with that. So yeah, Iron Man VR. Woot. I think that's only PlayStation as well. I don't think that's coming out. I think that's only PlayStation. So, anywho, have we talked about all the games we played?
Actually, I did start in Mario Galaxy 2
Oh, did you?
on the Wii.
How'd it
Yeah.
go?
I'm through the first world. It's just Mario 64 with some gloss.
Do you care? Are you like not plussed by this game?
It's very enjoyable. It's a Mario game, but like, it's kind of like when you talk about early Assassin's Creed games that were 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, nothing much had changed really.
But isn't that all Mario games? Don't all Mario games?
Exactly. So, I'm probably gonna keep playing it. It's fun because you can just pick it up for like 10 minutes and do a level.
Weren't we all supposed to try and play that?
You guys are welcome to borrow it when I'm done with it.
I gotta still play Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I have to stream that shit. I have not felt the desire to stream, but
Dude.
one of these moments I'll get back
Just
into
do it. You'll enjoy Metal Gear again.
Oh, I know I will, but I just haven't. I don't know.
I enjoyed beating the original PS1 one the other day. So, yeah.
Well,
Didn't you tell me you never finished the fifth one? Or did you eventually?
I think the last time I talked to you, I hadn't, but I did eventually finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, finished but
Quotes.
yeah, still not my favorite. I think the mechanics wise, it's great, but the story is just so like. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that on PC now?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
on. It
PC.
came out on PC, I think, day.
Did it?
Maybe a little bit after. I think maybe like a couple months after. But I picked it up, and I agree. The gameplay,
It's fun.
awesome, fucking awesome, and like it's crazy when you start experimenting what you can do. That story though. If I never heard code talkers say vocal cord parasite ever again, I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's I mean it's kind of Japanese, but I feel like it's so like just it's not like all the old Metal Gears where the story is just so crazy and such a piece of the game. I feel like the story is not really a piece of the game. It's like just this thing that
like window dressing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not a part of it. I don't know. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
So it's not my favorite. So I'm asking my least favorite Metal Gear game, even though everyone says it's one of the greatest of all time. It's my least favorite. Well, we're at that part of the show now where we do couch co-optionals. So this is where we talk about other shit that isn't video game related. Stuff that's, books, comic books, movies, music, beer, food,
Yeah.
Sure.
a restaurant
else
you
but
may have
games.
went to. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
No restaurants.
No.
And Justin, you're our guest. You haven't been here in a very long time. You should come all the time though. Now you're not really doing anything on Mondays now, are you? You should just pop in all the
No,
time.
not really.
All right. Anyway, what do you got? Any kind of cool shit you've been checking out?
Let's see.
I'm putting you
We've
on
been kind of going through. We've been going through like a kind of like a horror film watching spree as of late. There's this channel called What Culture that I would basically go for a while to get wrestling news, but also I've been kind of checking out their other like pop culture stuff, and they've been doing like a list of like great horror movies that have been overlooked in the last couple of years, and so I've been checking those out. I finally saw the movie Primer the other day.
Oh,
How is Primer a horror movie?
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so it's horror / mindfuck style movies.
Yeah.
Just go with that.
Primer
I
is
see.
great, man. Holy
yeah,
shit.
that's a good movie.
Like I'm watching and I'm like, the person who wrote this had to be an engineer.
Oh yeah, he
And then
is.
you find out He
Yeah.
totally was.
Have
Yeah,
you
they
have you
definitely
rewatched it?
Not yet, but I
Oh,
saw a
you
really
should
cool,
you should rewatch it. It's interesting.
where you see like what version of who is at where and that kind of shit.
Well, just
That's
Oh, yeah.
but then you just hear about them. There's rats in the attic, or like they start making comments. And it's like,
Yes.
now you know what the fuck that shit is. It's just
Yep.
weird kind of shit like that. It's just kind of interesting.
And that movie only costs like $7,000 or something.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
super
Right?
cheap in their garage. Yeah,
It's like, man, good movie.
that's why I gave up on being a filmmaker.
So yeah, checking out stuff like that. Then like another one was this movie called The Ritual on Netflix that I really enjoyed. Basically just kind of, I guess like everybody else, just catching up on movies and TV shows that I haven't had a chance to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
just
tell you this: if y'all haven't watched the show Killing Eve, definitely check that shit out because that show is awesome. So
So Bryn and I watched the first season of that. Enjoyed it quite a bit. We're having a hard time with the second. Nice. The second, I don't know. We're just kind of like, I don't know. We just don't really care. Maybe, I don't know. Should we stick with it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Like especially like I think like with every of that style show, there are shows like it's always building up to the climax of the finale, and then there's a recap, the aftermath of that finale, and then the build up to another eventual finale to bring on to the next season.
Is it
And
better
so-
than the first season though?
I don't know, because the first season it's always hard. It's like a band's first album. Like they've had time to really like work out the minutiae about it, and then they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we know we have more to say about the story. How can we continue moving the story along? Like I
Right.
enjoy TV shows that definitely have a beginning and end, because we all know about those shows that stayed way too long and past their welcome, like shows like Dexter, which those last couple
Yeah.
seasons were fucking
Well,
god-awful.
even as much as I
They
love
were
The
bad.
Sopranos, I mean, The Sopranos stuck around too long. It's
Yeah.
a lot of. They could have. Yeah. I mean, it's every show kind of does that to a point. Even Game of Thrones. As I know people love Game of
Ugh.
Thrones, but
Nope.
I checked out of Game of Thrones pretty early, and that show should have just. I know it's a book and people love the books, but I feel like the show should have just wrapped up. I don't know, in my opinion, but anyway.
we're on the worst enemies. We always want more, even though
I don't
we know
want
it-
more. I don't. I want
No.
more original shit, less of the same shit. Anyway,
Right.
any other cool shit, Justin? You can do as many
hard
as
to-
you want.
It's kind of hard, like when I was put on the spotlight.
All right,
like,
you think about it. We'll go to Dave.
Oh man, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What a disappointment!
Yes,
That was
100%.
a
Okay.
terrible movie.
I wouldn't
No,
say
I don't know. I
whoa,
haven't
whoa.
seen it.
I'll reel
Just
that
don't-
in. I wouldn't say it's a terrible movie. I was just like, huh?
Let me finish. I mean, it was a really well shot movie, and it was very pretty to look at. But you may as well just forward to the last 20 minutes, and I'm sure I'm not spoiling anything. If basically you can sum that movie up into the plot line, what would have happened if they had gone next door?
But here's the thing. Well, no, but that's the thing. It's not the plot line. I think. Okay, I don't know what. I don't know where we are. I don't know where we are and how. Has everyone seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
No.
Spoiler warning.
Have you seen it, Justin?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it, Aaron?
No.
Okay. Well, Dave, I don't think they go next door. Is my opinion. It's a fairy tale. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So they never do that.
But exactly, that's why I say it should be like what would have happened if they went next door. 'Cause
Well, we already know what happens when they go next door.
That's the crux of the fairy tale. By next door, I mean what happens in the movie, not what happens in real life.
My problem with the movie, I actually like the movie, all the stuff up until the point at the end. I think the ending is the worst part because it's like, oh sure, it's funny killing and shit, but it's like it's not really that good, or it doesn't really.
No, the killing wasn't great. Honestly, I thought the dialogue was really poor for a Quentin Tarantino movie.
I think
I didn't find any of the dialogue at all interesting.
My favorite scene is Caprio's scene with the little girl. I think where he's talking about that's like the best part of the movie for me for some reason.
Yeah, no, I could see that, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this movie was so hyped.
Yeah, I don't know why it did so well, because it was just a really dull movie.
I think maybe because the Tarantino name attached to it, it has this cachet.
Oh yeah.
For sure. But I mean, are we shitting on a nugget that you enjoyed, Justin? I don't want to.
No.
If you enjoyed,
I enjoyed it, but I think my enjoyment was also from the supplement material I had prior. So we didn't see it in theaters, and we didn't see it till it came out on video or on demand or whatever you want to call it. But we went on this trip through Eastern Oregon to see the Painted Hills and other locations. And a friend of mine suggested I check out this podcast called "You Must Remember This," and they do like numerous part deep dives of old Hollywood.
Right.
They had I think it was like a 12 or 13 part series about Charles Manson and the Manson family, and each episode they do deep dives on different aspects of all the people who were around during that time. Like they do deep dives on Roman Polanski and what he had going on and his connections with Sharon Tate, and then all the different members of the Manson family that were all the major ones and then all the stuff coming together. So what was interesting after listening to like this 13 part podcast, they start just pointing out people like Cowboy or this person who barely has a line, but they mention them by name. You're like, I know who that person is from that podcast and how they're important to the Manson story.
Right.
Or even the weird old dude who's on the ranch. They talk about him and the ranch and everything about the history about the ranch. And so like knowing all this extra information behind it, I thought I was entertained because it was cool seeing
that shit.
Like seeing that
it was informing it. Right.
After I spent like 13 hours listening to this fucking podcast, I was enjoying it.
My favorite scene actually was when Brad Pitt went to the ranch with all the
Manson family and sees the old guy and all that. See, I didn't like that.
It didn't have nowhere. It had nowhere near the kind of edge of the seat gravitas of like Inglourious Bastards when the Germans, the people in the cellar. There was no moment that compared to anything like that.
I guess in your head you're thinking the old time this person's gonna die, and then that doesn't happen because it ends up being a fairy tale and it's different. Maybe I don't know. Brad Pitt was actually my least favorite. I don't know.
I just for a 56-year-old though.
Yeah, he does. But I really enjoyed DiCaprio's performance, and I was more interested in his character. But his character could have been in so many other movies. I don't know. I must admit, I enjoyed the movie, but you're talking like a solid B+. It's not like.
Yeah, that was. I would probably say that was the weakest Tarantino movie I've seen.
I'd probably agree with that though too.
You even think
Yeah.
it's less than Hateful Eight?
I like
Yes.
Hateful Eight. I like Hateful Eight. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
love it, but I like it just on its like stage presence and how it's all staged and how it all works together. And I find
Yeah,
the
Hateful Eight
the
was a lot more
performances all
coherent.
together way more interesting. But
Yeah.
Well, here, like I guess like a good question would be that a question I'd pose to all of you then. What is your favorite 3 Tarantino movies?
oh, that's not. Dave doesn't like any Tarantino movies.
Actually do. I just don't like Kill Bill. I would
That was
I would
okay.
I would go for Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, and Reservoir Dogs.
I agree. Those are the ones I'd pick as well.
Yeah, I don't think I feel like the later ones just either degenerate into
No way.
spectacle or
Inglorious
violence.
Bastards, Reservoir
Inglourious
Dogs,
Basterds.
and Death Proof.
Inglourious Bastards, Pulp Fiction, and I'm gonna have to say, God, what was it? Isn't Django Unchained a Quentin Tarantino movie too? Or-
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, it
correct.
That's the other one. That's my third one. I love that movie. It was so fucking good.
I have to say, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the first one of his movies that I've watched that I've totally thought like, meh. I mean, all of his other movies that I've seen, I've always been like, they might not be my favorite movie, but there was something interesting in it. I thought this latest one was just terrible.
I discount Jackie Brown only because he didn't write it.
I could see that. That's a fair enough. It's the one that's based on the novel. Still want to see him do Star Trek though.
Not happening.
I know it's not gonna happen,
No.
but that would be awesome.
Anything else, Dave? I mean, okay, so Couch Co-Optionals is supposed to be something you recommend, and again, you're sharing something you don't want people to watch.
Yeah, I'm recommending they don't watch it and don't
Oh.
waste 2 hours and
Okay.
40 minutes of their life to see.
Oh,
It is a-
man.
All
Shit.
right. All right.
Fuck, I thought that
Anything
movie was
else?
longer than that.
Anything else?
Well, no, not really. I watched 2001.
Yeah. Woo. Aaron, what do you
Alright.
got? You got anything?
I started it and apparently I almost finished it. That series Waco on Netflix.
Oh,
with,
that was fantastic.
I heard that's
It's
good.
so
I heard it's
good.
really
It's-
good.
Oh yeah, it sucks you in and you realize you're almost done with it because it's only like 6 episodes or something like that. It's like I'm on episode 4 and it's like 2 episodes left. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm not sure
Where'd
if
it
I
go?
recommended that the other week, but yeah, 2 thumbs up. That
I think you
was
did. I think you were the
fantastic.
one who recommended it, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually wanted to watch it. I just came home from work and I started just starting. And I'm like, oh, what's this? Like Waco, let's restart. I'm like, okay, so we started and a few hours later passed. I'm like, oh,
Oh man, because everyone knows what happened at the end, but it really is
Yeah.
brutal. It's like,
it started brutal and it kept going.
yeah,
But it's just such a good movie. I mean, serious. I fucking
it's
loved
really
it.
well acted, and
I'm loving it.
they do a good job of making like you see all sides, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they
don't
did do
try-
a good.
They
A
don't
great
try
job
to
of
push
that.
you into it like one narrative kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I thought that at first, but then I started watching more of it. I'm like, okay, they're doing a really good job at making one guy look like a total asshole, and now he's actually starting to look kind of like decent. That the FBI guys at first looked like total assholes, but okay, I see what they're trying to do. And then they made the Koresh look at first like a human, and all of a sudden he just starts going crazier and crazier.
I
and
must
more
admit, there is
fucking
one
assholes.
scene that reminds me of Ian though, when he's playing the guitar in the top of the tower, and they get the generator running. Did you get to that
Wow.
part yet?
Thank
no,
you.
I just got
Thank
to the
you
part where
for
they cut the power.
thinking about me.
Oh yeah, you'd make a great cult leader. Cult of the co-op.
It'd be it'd just be a red couch, just cult
Yeah.
of the couch.
Maybe someday.
Comes to my couch.
The
might
red
not be-
casting couch.
Yep.
If things keep going the
Oh.
way they are, you never know.
Ugh.
Well, there's obviously so many gullible people out there. You might as well.
Yeah, right?
Hey, I got a question for y'all.
Oh.
I've noticed, like, when I sit down with my partner to watch something at night, we'll be sitting down and we'll be flipping through movies, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit through like a 2-hour movie, but then have no problem sitting through 3 episodes of like a series that's each episode's an hour long.
Right.
Am I the only one who does
Yeah.
that?
No.
No, you're not. Like, I don't want to sit through like a 2-hour movie at like 9 o'clock at night, but
Well, let's
it's already
watch 3 hours of
11
this
o'clock,
other
so,
thing.
hey.
Maybe.
Right,
I don't
yeah,
think I ever
exactly.
think about it that way, but I get what you're thinking. I never
Yeah.
think like. I just
We sit down and we look at it. We look at stuff and we're like,
Oh, it's such a
2.5
commitment.
hours. I don't really feel like that tonight, or 2 hours, and then like, yeah, you pick a series and you watch one episode and you're like, oh, let's just watch another.
like I don't know if you've seen The Expanse, Justin, and I know I've told these guys to watch it, but
You have.
that was a
girlfriend's a huge fan.
hardcore binging show. Like, fuck it, just 2 o'clock in the morning, let's watch another. That was like a literal like, and I'm like, can Amazon drop the next season already? Because I know they've shot it, but yeah, some shows it's like that. Other shows you're kind of like, meh, okay, go to bed.
Yeah. We watched the whole fucking Tiger King thing in one day because it was like
Oh.
when it first came out and it was like everybody was talking about it. So we checked it out and we're like, what the fuck is going on?
That was
I
a
still
train
haven't
wreck.
watched that yet, and
Uh,
part
Have
of
you
me is
watched the
like,
one about-
refusing to watch it because everyone loves it. I'm in that mentality right now, but I know I need to watch it at some point. So
People love watching it because they like watching train wrecks.
yeah,
They're
Sure.
the people who are saying watch this are the people who turn their heads and slow down traffic when somebody's pulled across or somebody wrecked on the side of the road.
I guess
It's
I'm
that
not
kind of
that
shit.
kind of person.
Actually, Justin, if you want something in a similar vein that is just as fascinating, you should watch Wild Wild Country if you haven't seen it.
I've seen that.
That
I
was
love-
good too.
I love the what is it? The West Virginia mating call.
Yeah.
what? Oh,
So the guy takes a pill of Oxycontin and just shakes it, and he says it's the West Virginia fucking mating
Oh,
call.
I got you.
oh God.
But yeah, that's another
That's
series
great.
where you watch the first episode or two and you're like, this can't get any wilder, and it just keeps going down that rabbit hole.
Next thing you know.
Yeah.
Any
and because
other?
it's set in Oregon, it's cool.
Any other? Did you think of anything else, Justin, while you were?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some people out there who have like their own comfort show, like whether it be like watching reruns of Friends or The Office. We recently
yeah.
went through a TV show on Hulu called Letterkenny. Have any of you all watched that yet?
I have not seen it, but I have heard about it.
Check it out. It's good.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's one of those comedies that straddles the line of being like really well written. They do dumb humor smartly, if that makes
Ah.
sense.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they do
Yeah.
talk about dumbass topics, but it is entertaining. Where you're like, you don't feel your intelligence doesn't feel insulted by watching it. Almost like I wouldn't say Idiocracy, but Idiocracy would be a example of that type of like using dumb humor in a smart way.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
perfect.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
They have like 8 seasons. Since it's like Canada, Canada's almost like UK, where their seasons of TV is different than it is for American shows. Where they'll
Well,
do,
even
like,
our
6
shit's
episodes at a
changing
time.
now, though, too. If you think about
Yeah.
it, I mean, unless you're talking about broadcast television, but
Nah.
seasons for
Yeah.
us are changing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like the 8 episode season, not the.
But they do numerous seasons per year, so they've already have like 8 seasons, or like seven or 8 seasons, and they've only been around for like 3 or 4 years.
Right. Like
Yeah.
even Europe or like the UK would do that because like Top Gear would do
Yeah,
like
like
a
series,
series, and then like later they do like the first half of the year would have a series of like however many, and then they go on
Yeah.
break for like 3 months, and then at that last half of the year there'd be like another series, and it's like, didn't you just release? Anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Hey Ian, have you kept up on Grand Tour?
Oh fuck yeah! What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I watch all
I
that
haven't
shit.
watched it after the first season. I know they've
What?
had a couple since. Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
they have 2 more after that, and then you gotta watch that shit. It's hilarious.
Hey,
and
you
then
gotta
they do,
watch
and now
it.
they're only doing specials. So they did a fucking Sea special. That's the Seaman episode or series. It's fucking brilliant. I love all that shit.
Yeah,
I watch
that was
it.
good.
So they're not doing individual episodes anymore. They're specials.
Yeah. So after the 3rd season, spoiler, they make the announcement, and Jeremy Clarkson starts crying and stuff. But they cancel the show. And Amazon only wants specials. So they start doing specials. Unfortunately, the 2nd special has been put on hold because of this bullshit COVID thing. Not bullshit COVID thing, but it's bullshit that we're stuck in this awful situation. And so anyway,
It's not like Jeff Bezos couldn't afford to keep that show on.
Yeah, right. And then I even bought the fucking video game for PS4. I was playing that shit. So
Ooh.
it's stupid. It's awful, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like it's a weird like fun TV game. You like watch the episodes, and then they get to a point, then you get to play the video game of that part of the episode. So like there's like a racing, and the mechanics suck, but it's fun in a weird like kind of stupid Jackbox party pack kind of way. Anyway, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I wouldn't recommend it because I don't want you to spend like $20 on something you're gonna hate. But if you got it for like $2,
Nice.
okay, I'm gonna recommend some shit really quick. We talked about beer in the beginning, but I really wanted again, man, the red can beer.
Oh, it's amazing.
I really enjoy. It's like only 4%. It's got a place for you to write your name. So if you ever drink with friends again, you can write your name on it.
That's the most important thing in the review.
But it's like a great summer pounder, man. You can wake up at like 10 o'clock in the morning and just be like, and you can just it's only has 100 calories. It's like a light beer that doesn't. Hey guys, it's a fucking light beer that doesn't say light.
No.
It's a diet beer that doesn't say diet, and it tastes pretty good. And I'm a big fan of it. That was my first recommendation. My second recommendation, I read comic books. Spider-Woman #1 came out, and pretty big fan. I mean, it's probably 3 out of 5. It's pretty comic booky. Has some pretty weird like goofy things that I wouldn't think like you should do in a comic book, but the art's solid, the writing's solid, and I'd recommend Spider-Woman because I'm still reading comic books, and that just came out. And if comic books ever still keep coming out, then sure, read comic books. I know that Diamond like did this whole like cancel like holding shipment bullshit, and DC is going to another distributor, and there's a lot of like fucking politics going on in the comic book industry right now. But anyway, those are my two things that I recommend. Red Can beer by Hop Valley, which is from Eugene, Oregon, so you got to support that shit, right? And it is by Hop Valley. I like the fact that like 10 Barrel made a cheap beer, and now Hop Valley has a cheap beer. I like it when like the high breweries like start making some cheap beers for us. And then Spider-Woman. So anyway,
Nice.
I saw Justin grab something off his shelf. I think he wants to talk about another thing.
Sure.
What is it?
You were talking comics. I ordered the third trade of a comic called Snot Girl.
Oh, that's hot.
Snot Girl is done by Brian Lee O'Malley. You would be familiar with his stuff because he wrote Scott Pilgrim. And this is the current series he's working on. This series so far is fantastic. I should be getting the third trade in the mail any moment now. But basically, the premise of the comic, it still has a lot of humor, but it's not as cartoony as Scott Pilgrim was.
Or is it self-referential and like geek referential?
There is some of that. The main characters are basically narcissistic fashion bloggers. And basically there's the weird dynamic of how these women like come together and they hate on each other, but they're like this fake frenemy kind of weird dynamic.
Right.
But there's elements of like Fight Club where you're like, is this person real? And like, who is like, there's elements of like almost like a Tyler Durden-esque type like vibe to it, as well as some elements of like American Psycho, where how the scene from American Psycho where they're comparing like business cards, and like he fucking loses his mind because he has bone and his card has a different shade of color than his does. Shit like that. So this comic is fantastic. Definitely, if you're into like something that's like not superhero but really well written and pretty funny, check out Snot Girl.
Awesome. All right, boys. You guys have anything else you want to add for the good of the order?
Nah.
Get out of here.
We'll leave them wanting more.
Get him out of here. All right. Well, I want to thank Justin for joining us after so long. I don't know what Thanks for coming. Aaron, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks for
of course.
being here on the couch as always. My cohorts, and I don't know what do we. I'm so tired of the opening and closing. And I'm trying to just be real and not read some kind of. Check us out on Couch Co-op shows at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Press the thumbs
think
up
you
button.
just
Make sure
hit
to
the nail.
subscribe.
Yeah, Mixer.
Yeah.
Check us out on Mixer. Oh, what? Anyway. I want to thank you all guys for joining me here on the couch tonight. This is episode 205. It'll be up tonight on all your podcast things and such, and eventually it'll be on YouTube. And I hope people in these trying times are enjoying us talking about shit to take their mind off awful shit. And, throw us a subscribe or a like or whatever. So thanks, guys, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Of course.
And we will talk to you guys all later. Good night.
Yeah.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Usually pretty good, and
Mhm.
they're usually well shot movies. And
So I
It's
recently
okay.
watched the movie called Guns Akimbo.
Oh, that's the one with Ratcliffe with the guns
Ratcliffe. So
cut to in his
I
hands.
said yeah, it's basically as I was explaining to them while you were taking a piss, is there are movies out there that I really enjoy that I know are not considered good movies, and I was using Crank as an example. If you like Crank, there's a good chance that you will enjoy Guns Akimbo as well because it is very much in that same vein. I've become like as in the last couple months, I've become a big fan and supporter of I think it's Samara Weaving. She's the main actress from that movie Ready or Not. She's also in Guns Akimbo. So she's the blonde chick who basically is like almost like a trash. She is super pretty, but she looks like a trashier version of Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she's super. Like, have you guys watched Ready or Not yet?
no,
No.
No, it's good. It's super good. It's the one they had previews for during the summertime, which was the new bride to this weird family of this weird rich family that they were playing hide and go seek on the
Ready or
wedding
Not.
night, and the
No.
family's out to kill her. Definitely watch that. It's really good. Ready or Not.
All right.
Watch that
On
before Guns Akimbo.
Ross that before.
Yeah, it's super
on
good.
On that note, I'm gonna dip out. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye,
Later,
Good to
Aaron.
hear from you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Say hi to
Bye.
Ashley.
Will do. All right, bye, guys.
But no, she's the niece of Hugo Weaving.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I was like,
Interesting.
Weaving, she has to be related, and she totally is. She's Australian and everything. So
I haven't watched any movies. I can't. I don't.
Yeah,
oh, well, I
I
watched
watched
Logan. That's the last the noir version of Logan. That's the last movie I watched.
you ever seen the movie called Cashback? That was a really good movie.
Cashback. When did this come out?
Probably 06, 07, somewhere in there. And it's just a good movie. It's this guy, and he figures he can freeze. He finds out he can freeze time. But
Oh,
if you want one of those like trippy head,
It's a Netflix
Yeah.
movie.
I think it was back then. It was a mainstream release, but it's
No, but is it on Netflix?
It was at one time. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It seems weird. Like, I know we're all guys who are either 40 or near 40, and
40.
the idea of like how time, like that movie came like when we hear the name of a movie, and you're like, oh yeah, that movie came out 12 years ago. You're like, the fuck it did.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
thinking about like, oh yeah, Inception came out 10 years ago, and you're like, the fuck it did.
Yeah, I watched the Matrix trilogy with my daughter the last week or two, and it was just like, man,
That's
those
fun.
movies came out 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still. Oh man, yeah, fuck that. No, because like the first Matrix, I was in Seattle in art school, and I was working at the comic book.
Oh yeah, the
store,
first one was like
and-
98, 99.
and they gave no, it was like 98, and they gave me a free pass to go to the press screening, and that was a crazy experience. I had watched something no one had ever seen before, blew my mind, and I was in there with this movie is going to change everything kind of feeling. Because that was the buzz. It was like packed. I've like been in a lot of press screenings. Very few have been as fucking packed as that one was, and
Yeah.
it was nuts. That was a weird experience.
Yeah, I remember seeing that for the first time and being blown away by it. It was like one of those movies where you came out of the theater and you were like, wow, that is something I've not seen before, and a really good premise.
Man, it's a shame like all that goodwill that they built up with the first one just seemed to go out the window with the second two.
Yeah, but apparently people really like the second one.
Oh, I don't like any. Well, I like the second one only for Monica Bellucci.
Well,
Yeah.
you should look at the reviews, because I was really surprised at like how well regarded the second one was compared to
Well,
what I remember it being.
I feel like the second one is just like this monotonous pit of like we're in this matrix doing stupid shit and nothing matters.
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
Yeah, because it's got that stupid car chase that seems to go on forever with you
Yeah,
guys.
and we're trying to
the
find the
white guys with the
key,
dead
and we're
leg.
trying to do all
Yeah.
this shit, and it's just like
they were leaning on CGI tech that wasn't ready for prime time as well. There's a lot of rubber man in that Neo versus like Thousand Agent Smith fight,
right.
Oh yeah.
Which looked
that was
weird.
rough. It was
But
just
if
bad.
you really focus on Monica Bellucci in her white dress, you see her little like black pubic strip through her dress, and it's just like, that's delicious.
Did you wear
Enhance.
that?
Enhance.
Wear that video
Enhance.
tape out?
Zoom, enhance, zoom, enhance. Shh, 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 shh. Anyway, Dave can't see my video. Anyway, my swipings.
Which was really interesting. It's funny you mentioned the Matrix. I was on Twitter the other day, and it's really interesting, like how Elon Musk has been on one ever since his kid was born.
Is this where we're going?
And he was posting something about like he said like he tweeted out, "Take the red pill," and then Ivanka Trump was like, "I already did," and then one of the Wachowski sisters was like, "Fuck both of you." How basically like the alt-right has co-opted language from their movies that's done by two trans sisters for their own like alt-right super conservative agenda.
Although
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, I do seem to remember the whole pill analogy. The first time I think I encountered that was among the like Bernie Sanders left wing. It seems like both sides have the like take the pill. You know, we've
Yeah.
discovered the truth, kind of.
Yeah, but it's funny where it was like, yeah, one of the Wachowski sisters like, "Fuck y'all all," like you basically
Yeah, I
are
saw that.
you're co-opting my shit for your nefarious means.
That was a funny tweet. Also, the comments were very interesting and
Oh yeah,
very makes you hate humanity because some of them are.
You do wonder that, like, some people, it's just like, really, did you actually think before you typed that into the computer and pressed enter?
No.
oh no, it's become a lot of
Yeah.
people have attached this kind of thing to their identity, and so it's no longer
Yeah.
about talking and exchanging ideas. It's basically politics have become Super Bowl Sunday every single fucking day. So it gets exhausting, especially now that I'm laid off. I have time to peruse social medias and then consciously be like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. You need to back away.
Yeah, I had to kind of stop, like, you know.
I never started, so
Well, I know
that's-
you didn't never started, but like, you know, I don't follow anyone on Facebook, so my Facebook isn't have any of that shit. And then I deleted Facebook off my phone. So the only time I really have to engage in Facebook is like I have to like go to it on my computer, just to see if my family or, you know, I have
It's a family thing for me. That's why I haven't got rid of it.
I don't even have it for family. Ultimately, I have it for the band because we stream shit for the band.
Yeah.
So that's why I have it, really. But Twitter's pretty obnoxious. Instagram's pretty cool. Instagram is fine. People have photos, very, very simple shit. I can like and dislike that shit, pretty fine. But
Yeah.
fucking Twitter, man, can be weird.
Yeah. Twitter is just bullshitting, while Instagram is just like, let me lie to you and show you like this idealized life I'm not living in. Do you think I really look like this?
Well, I do think you look like that.
True. I did dye my beard because it was very gray.
That's what I thought. I feel like last time. I mean, we saw you. I think the last time I saw you was at
Halloween. It was a Halloween night or something.
Halloween at Radio Room or some shit. I feel like you had some gray in it.
Oh, there's definitely gray there.
You gotta dye it. You should dye it some crazy colors, like flames and.
We'll see what my next job's like, and we'll find out.
It might just completely go away. Would you like get rid of it?
I think beards and tattoos have become accepted, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Are you gonna
Yeah,
keep?
I don't. You might groom it a little, but that like.
Yeah.
You know, that's as far as you need to go.
But you've decided to keep it forever, or are you gonna like at some point like, I'm done?
I'll probably get done. But it's one of those things where you become accustomed to it. I see pictures of myself without the beard all the time. And I say, that's fine. I see myself. It looks normal. When I've had a beard not quite this long, but I shaved it off. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck did the bottom of my face go? And it's weird too, because like I said, I've seen pictures of myself, but there's a difference between seeing a picture of yourself and seeing yourself in a reflection for some fucking reason. It's the same person, it's the same image, but for some reason my brain like registers them totally differently.
Well, because you're looking at one all the time. The other one's just like a memory, and you can kind of pull back that memory. Like, oh yeah, that's that time in that place. No, I know that. But like, this is me today, and so when you like start fucking just like, holy shit, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, when I first dyed this, I was like, holy shit, I look like Bluto from fucking Popeye. Because it was super dark. And then now I look at myself when I was gray, I'm like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going back to that.
Have you tattooed yourself yet?
Oh, yeah. I've done this one, a Motorhead. I've done a Rammstein logo on my leg. I've done the variation of the from the Fragile.
Nice.
So I haven't done.
So do we get free tattoos? Is that what happens at some point? We get free tattoos?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have a table, but yeah, I'm going to start taking guinea pigs here shortly. So I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Nice.
You're gonna do a milkman pictures on yourself, you know, just.
I already have Dave. I already have.
Justin on himself.
Oh, on himself. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna give milkman on himself, but I mean, I already have it on me.
Yeah.
No, I have.
So explain. Okay, I have missed this story. What's the whole milkman thing?
The milkman thing?
Yes. What's the milkman thing?
I don't know. Dave, do you know this story? Can you tell it?
They used to call you milkman in high school, didn't they? And then you owned it, basically.
Yeah. I was made fun of.
Why did they call you milkman?
Okay.
Because he liked to splooge a lot.
Yeah. No. No, middle school I think it started. So we used to play basketball all the time. I'm a pretty good basketball player, but I'm small.
Yeah.
And so I had some really close. My best friend and I. Middle school basketball all the time. Love playing basketball. Good playing basketball. But I'm too small, and I never felt like I could make the team, so I never did. High school, that guy becomes a douchebag and hates me. And I'm playing basketball, and he starts yelling, milk it, pass the milkman. I have no idea what that means. No idea what that shit means. So I get just hazed by this day after day after day after day, day after day, day after day. Finally, I learn about this. They got it from this fucking movie, The Super, with Joe Pesci. And there's this tall guy who plays basketball, but I guess not very well. But he's a black guy, but somehow looks at me like me with glasses. I don't know. I have no idea. Ultimately,
Yeah, who knows what?
So there was a fucking reach that somehow stuck.
yeah. And he's a basketball player. He plays basketball. But they go, "Why do they call you the milkman?" And he goes, "Because I killed the milkman." I don't know what that means either. I have no idea what any of this means. But I guess he's a shitty basketball player. So I guess I'm a shitty basketball player in high school. Which, sure, I'm not going out for the basketball team. I'm just playing basketball.
Yeah.
If you were to play basketball with me today, I promise you I'm not that shitty. But so they just kept making fun of me all the way. And so at some point I started... So my freshman year in high school, I started drawing these shitty comics. It was Milkman Comics before it was Milkman Pictures. So I have all these like crazy one sheet like little comics where it's me as a stick figure and I'm beheading all the bullies. So I think if any counselor saw it, they would probably like apprehend me and keep me from going to school because I'd probably shoot up the school or something. But I have a bunch of these.
That was before Columbine. They wouldn't have
Exactly. I was safe. I went.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, so Milkman Comics and all this shit, but because of the Milkman Comics, I had all these other friends that had kind of shared that same bullying mentality, so I would draw them in as other characters. So I would draw all these Milkman Comics bullshit, stupid stuff. And then I think in my junior year, at some point, we decided to like, someone was talking and I don't know, they said make a movie. And so, I don't know. So the movie thing happened, and then Milkman Pictures became the movie thing, and then I just, you take lemons and you turn it into lemonade. So that's ultimately what it comes from. No one calls me Milkman. No one. I don't really respond to Milkman. It's just, but it's my tag. It's my tag and my thing. So that's where that comes from. There you go, Justin.
Okay, makes sense. That's kind of like the reason why I use the Fuzz Vega mock here is my full name is James Justin Daniels. You could type that in any Google search. You're not going to find me. It's the most generic fucking name ever.
Yeah,
it's like hiding. It's basically the equivalent of hiding in plain sight.
It's a lot of first names.
I know. And my dad was adopted, so his official blood is not attached to that last name, so I don't give a shit. So it doesn't matter.
There you go. We all have our little background into little things. That's
yeah. Well, good night, gentlemen.
Yeah, I gotta go too because we got to eat dinner. Brent's cooking dinner, and I gotta go.
Yeah, a bit late.
Okay.
I need to.
Well, there's a possibility I might be seeing you guys in person.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing you Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys gotta come hang out in our social distancing area.
We'll be masked up.
Yeah. Bring beer.
All right. Lady alls.
Catch you
Night.
later.